Good morning, first graders. Today we are on page 339 of your student journal, page 339. And our objective today is, today I will find the unknown addend by comparing numbers in word problems that tell how many fewer objects are in a group. So in our last lesson, we said how many more. This time we're going to be talking about how many fewer are in the group. How many fewer, okay? So boys and girls, I'm not going to spend time on this today because we've already done this 2 times. I'm just gonna get started on this. Okay, so here's my first problem. And my first problem says, Elizabeth has 6 movies. Elizabeth has 2 fewer movies than Ryan. How many movies does Ryan have? Okay, so let's look at our question in parts. It says Elizabeth has 6 movies. So I think for Elizabeth, I'm going to use a capital E. And she has 6 movies, so I'm going to give her 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then it says Elizabeth has 2 fewer movies than Ryan. Okay, so for Ryan, I'm going to use an R. And I'm going to first make Ryan have the same amount as Elizabeth. I'm going to make them match first. Okay, then let's look at this again. It says Elizabeth has 2 fewer. So if Elizabeth has fewer means less, that means Ryan has more. So how many? Elizabeth has to have 2 fewer, which means I need to give Ryan 2 more. So Elizabeth will have 2 fewer. So my question says, how many movies does Ryan have? Well, we have to write our equation. How many did Ryan and Elizabeth both have? Ryan had 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Ryan has 6, the same as Elizabeth. But then Ryan had 2 more than Elizabeth because Elizabeth had to have 2 fewer than him. So how many does Ryan have altogether? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ryan has 8 movies. So my unknown, and they're using M as my unknown because for my unknown, you can use a letter or a shape. So they're saying my unknown is M, and I said my unknown is 8. Ryan has 8 movies. Okay, let's look at another one. Here's my next one. It says, there are 10 pairs of socks. There are 3 fewer pairs of socks than pairs of shoes. How many pairs of shoes are there? Okay, so what do I know? There's 10 pairs of socks. So maybe for socks, I'm going to put an S. And how many are there? 10. 10 pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then it says, there are 3 fewer pairs of socks than pairs of shoes. Okay, so I'm going to compare the socks to shoes. If I use an S again, I'm going to be confused. So maybe I'll use the SH for my shoes. And I'm going to first make them match. I'm going to give the shoes the same as the socks. Let's make them match first. Okay, then let's read this again. There are 3 fewer socks. So the socks have fewer than the shoes, which means if the socks are fewer, the shoes must be more by how many? 3 pairs. 1, 2, 3. So now the socks have 3 less or 3 fewer than the shoes. Okay, so what could our equation be? How many did the shoes have? The shoes had the same 10 as the socks, but the shoes had 3 more because the socks had to have 3 fewer, and that's kind of opposites. So how many shoes are there? Well, there's 10 here, so I could use the count on strategy. I could say 10, 11, 12, 13. That's a good strategy, the count on. Okay, so my unknown, they're using the symbol of a triangle. My unknown is 13. That's how many pairs of shoes there are. Okay, boys and girls, let's do some together. We're on page 340. And here is our first problem. And it says, Austin wrote 8 sentences. Austin wrote 5 fewer sentences than Maria. How many sentences did Maria write? Okay, so let's look at this. We have Austin wrote 8 sentences. So I think for Austin, we can use a capital A, and he had 8. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, what's it say next? Austin wrote 5 fewer sentences than Maria. So we're going to compare Austin to Maria. So let's put an M for Maria, and let's first make them match. Let's give them the same amount. So we're going to give Maria 1 for every one that Austin has. We're going to give her 1. So Austin has 8 and Maria has 8 now. But it says that Austin wrote 5 fewer than Maria. So Austin has to have 5 fewer. Fewer means less. So Austin needs 5 less. So we need to give Maria 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to give Maria 5 more. So now Austin has 5 less, or 5 fewer. Okay, so what is our equation? Well, Austin and Maria, the question says, how many sentences did Maria write? Well, she wrote the same, she wrote 8, just like Austin, but then she had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more than Austin. So how many is her total? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So her total is 13, which means our unknown is 13. Okay, let's do one more together. Ready? There are 2 forks. There are 9 fewer forks than spoons. How many spoons are there? Okay, so what did we first know? There's 2 forks. So maybe for forks, we could put an F. And how many do we have? 2. Okay, and we're going to compare the forks to spoons. So it says there are 9 fewer forks than spoons. So for spoons, let's put an S. And before we do anything, let's make them match. So there's 2 forks now and 2 spoons. Okay, but what does this say? There are 9 fewer forks than spoons. So the forks have to be 9 fewer or 9 less, which means the spoons have to be 9 more. So let's give the spoons 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so what would our equation be? Well, there was 2 spoons, just like 2 forks, plus there was 9 more spoons than forks. So if I was to add this, I might use the count-on strategy. And when you use the count-on strategy, you start with the bigger add-in or the larger add-in. So this one's larger, so I'm going to say 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 spoons. So my unknown was an S, and it means it's 11. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to keep practicing these. Make sure that you're making them match and make sure you're adding to the correct one. Have a good day. Bye-bye.